Good morning. It's me and Anne-Marie today. My name is Marty Hicks. The website is helloextraordinarylife.com. Today, we're going to begin my 6-week signature course, A Journey into Loving Yourself from the Inside Out. And I thought I would give a little insight into the beginning of the course, which is how do we define loving ourselves from the inside out. If you check out the website, there's a free offer, first 3 steps to loving yourself from the inside out. So report that I wrote. And this call is every week. So hopefully we'll get some people listening to this recording. All right. Today is July the 19th, and I wanted to start with simply considering what it means to you. What's your definition? I mean, just ponder. What's your definition of loving yourself from the inside out? What does it feel like? How do I speak to myself? How do I treat myself? And I listed some words that I think about when I'm defining for myself my definition of loving myself from the inside. So obviously there's love. Then there's kindness. Am I kind to myself? There's joy, acceptance, permission. Define permission and then allowing. Critical for the rest of it. And compassion. Having these things for myself are ways that I love myself from the inside when life happens. And that list is endless, as is the list that we are often quick to run to or think of because of our programming for life, which is criticism and judgment. Not nice. We become our own whipping post. And for all of that, there is the exact opposite, which makes up that definition of loving ourselves from the inside out. I say this often, and I'll start with, I cannot love you more than I love me. And I will not let you love me more than I love me. We're not born. Our life is created with this set point, let's just say 78 on the thermostat. And that's what we know. And that's where we live, at 78. Whatever that looks like. If we get too far above it, too far happy or joyous or too angry, we'll figure out how to come back to our setting of 78. And if we get too low, depression, anger, again, and love can come in there, but generally on the lower side, those are the more negative things. But we'll come back up. We find a way to come back up and stay status quo at 78. This is our journey of raising the set point. Raising our bar in our life to be able to receive more and to love more and to experience more. It's part of our being human. Whatever I'm judging outside of me, I am certainly judging it on the inside. Everything happens in our mind. Our interpretation, perception, the meaning I give it, it all happens in my mind first. What does that mean? That means I am responsible for every single thing I think. I'm responsible for everything I think. Just sit with that for a minute. It also means I can have it be anything I choose. I can make it mean anything. My passion and my mission is to help us begin that reprogramming because most of us aren't set on that high-end, high self-esteem, positive path. That's not been my experience in the world. Which, of course, that's what I'm attracting to me is women and men who have some wounding and damage and dysfunction just like I did. I have found that when we aren't sure of ourselves or don't know what it means to love ourselves, we get busy comparing ourselves, our insides, to somebody else's outsides. I don't know about you, but I know how to make myself look good. I can look really good while I'm dying on the inside. And then I get busy comparing myself to how you look or how you appear or how you behave. Oh, look how great she is, and look how she's got it all together, and how come I can't be that? And that looking good place got me all kinds of attention. Some wanted and some not so wanted. I was always looking at you outside of me to fill my inside so I could feel okay. I needed you to make me feel okay because I didn't have any of my own okay. It's not a very happy way to live because it's always an up and down, very emotional roller coaster because it's always dependent on how you treat me. And then I get in the whole other people pleasing, which is a whole other conversation. I have found no shortcuts on this path. Part of this journey of being human is we're here to evolve and grow and expand in the best way we can do that. And that means learning from other people who have paved the way before us. So this is all stuff that I've done and experienced and continue. And they're tools for healing and that have helped me reprogram lifetimes. I say lifetimes. I believe in lifetimes of programming, even if it's just this one. We've been programmed from the time we were very small. And the voice in our head, sometimes it's kind, sometimes it's not. Usually, the voice in our head that is trying to sabotage us and taking us out and being negative and judgmental and telling us all kinds of lies, it's not even our voice. It's become our voice. The original voice is whoever laid the programming there. But somewhere along the way, I stopped hearing that original voice. Parent, loved one, teacher, whomever. And now it's mine, and I have owned it. I don't even hear the other voice. I only hear mine. And I make it the truth. It's not. It's not the truth. All those things are, sometimes it was a look. Sometimes it was a word. And in my little child experience of life, very limited, I don't have any skills yet, I made it mean something. And now I've made it my own, and I've made it true, and I live out of that place. Until I change it, until I begin the healing, which is what my program is about. It's to begin this journey of reprogramming, identifying that voice. Voices, sometimes voices, the things that are not true, and to begin the healing process, healing that little one that was inside of us, so we can begin repairing that and living full, fulfilling, loving ourselves lives. So let's just say life sometimes often throws us a curveball. What do we do to ourselves when that happens? In the beginning, well, all the way up till very recently, a few years, I always went to that place of what I did wrong. How can I fix it? If I can change everything about me, I can make it different. Very codependent, very unhealthy, very dysfunctional. And no matter what I did, it was never enough, and it was never the right thing. Today, that's very different. It's this process. I have a few tools I've written down that I have used And they take practice, and they take time, and implementation, and getting in the habit, because we're reprogramming all that time that we've been mind-fucking ourselves and beating ourselves up, playing small. Depression, I find, comes in here. All those places where we go, we're not loving ourselves on the inside out, but we go into that shell and we isolate and we do things that are not nice to us and not kind to us. And they're not productive and they're not effective. But we don't know anything different. And so until we know something different, that's what we do. Some of the things that I have done, and not all at once, sometimes it's only one, sometimes it's multiple, depending on the situation that's happened or the thing I'm wanting to do new. Sometimes it's just new stuff that's uncomfortable. Sometimes it's receiving things, compliments, or receiving love from others. Sometimes it's those things that we're not comfortable doing that can take us off track, take me off my center. First and foremost, one of the tools that I use all the time now is to breathe. Something happens. Someone gave me this whole litany of stuff that she felt I had done to her. This was very recent, very current. And I paused first for probably a whole minute, and I took several deep breaths before I ever spoke. It helped me to, I was way off, but it helped me to stay in the moment and to not lash out in the way that I truly wanted to. I got to be an adult. We call it adulting today. And so the rest of that process has been meditating, journaling, speaking with people that we trust. And I have a very small circle. It used to not be. I used to go to everyone and anyone who would jump on my bandwagon and, what a bitch. Why would she talk to you that way? And do those things. I stopped doing that. And I started going to only the people that I know will be objective and help me to see maybe even my part of it, or at least listen so I can keep processing through it. Allowing ourselves to feel it, feel everything, and keep moving forward, which for me is where the journaling comes in. I can just put it all on paper, and then I always get some nugget of truth as I'm journaling. Something somebody said to me the other day, and I really loved it, and she said, when you have that thought, when we can catch that thought, right when it comes, then you switch it and you start giving yourself 5 things about the situation or about yourself or life even that are actually true statements, positive, true statements. And I went, that's the evidence. And it breaks the cycle of that pattern, just really ingrained deeply in our brain. And the last thing I found that's been super effective, have you heard of, Anne-Marie, have you heard of Ho'oponopono? It's a Hawaiian prayer. Yeah, it's a Hawaiian prayer.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can look it up on YouTube. There's actually tapping. They do emotional freedom technique, which is tapping that goes with it if you choose. There's several ways of doing it, but the gist of it is that we're putting out there in the universe, and this is part of taking responsibility, full 100% responsibility for my actions and choices and thoughts. And that is, I'm sorry. There's 4. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. And we say that when when there's a situation about something, or we jumped into that thought, and we go into that prayer. Just keep saying it. And I was told once to do it until you feel different. So I do it until I feel different. I do any of those things until I feel different. And when I feel different, it's moving me into the positive. the positive energy. So that's just the beginning of the course. This is like day 1, and that's, you know, I'm giving you like 15 minutes, and it's a 6-week course. So I hope that is helpful and insightful. And I'll stop there.
Wow.
Is that helpful?
Yeah, there's a lot to process. It's like, oh, that's a lot of information.
It is.
It is, yeah.
Is there something that just jumped out at you and went, oh, there's that little nugget?
When you were saying the thing about the thermostat and you were at 78 or all that stuff, it was funny because my number went, I was at 80. I'm like, I like the heat, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm at 80. And then in the list, the qualities that you were describing for yourself, I'm like, the one that I have in there is acceptance. And part of my acceptance is accepting that I don't have a filter. So I say how I feel. I say what I think without thinking.
Ah, yes.
And sometimes it's good, and sometimes it's not so good. And I've accepted that's part of who I am. So
yes. See, not so good, is that because of how it landed for someone else?
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's not so good, and it may be just, again, it could be anything. It could be the timing of when I say it. It could be the situation of where I say it at. You know, like it just came into my head, so it's coming out of my mouth.
I've learned to censor it sometimes. I don't have a filter when I speak, but I have learned to censor my mouth. Not everything has to come out of it. That's what I've learned. I don't call it a filter because I don't have a filter when I'm speaking, but I've learned it's the discernment. There's a discernment of, do I need to say this right now? Is this going to be helpful right now? Am I contributing something right now? Will I cause harm?
Yeah, that doesn't even go across the brain.
Yeah. It may now that you're aware of it.
Yeah. No, she's like, oh, that seems like a good thing to say. Why did you say that? Oh, okay, let me just say that. Oh, shit. Guess I shouldn't have said that.
Well, and sometimes you never know how it's going to land for someone. It's your thought and your whatever you're saying, but I don't always know how it's going to land for someone else. I'll say the thing that it just pops in and without a thought about it. It's just a true statement or something, or an observation, and someone gets their feelings hurt because they didn't really want to hear it.
A lot of the times, especially if I'm if I'm supporting a woman, or if we're in program, or if we're in a situation where we're discussing stuff, I'm like, okay, so this is what I'm thinking, this is what I'm feeling. You can hate me afterwards. I'm just going to say what I need to say.
Yeah, well, you qualify it at least.
Yeah, and I preface it, but and then there's times where I just go, blah, 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 and they're like, okay, not the right time to say that.
So see if this is true for you. I have found that the people that really know me know that I'm speaking out of a place of love.
Mhm.
Even if it doesn't land very well, they know that my intention is to help them along, not to be hurtful.
Mhm.
Yeah. It's those that don't know me that well that just kind of look at me and go, who the hell do you think you are?
Those that don't know me too well don't matter.
Well, that's true. That is true.
You don't matter. You keep saying living yourself from the inside out, and all I can see is those characters from that movie.
Oh, yes.
And I see, when you said joy, all I saw was this, and these, like, flowers and sparkles. And
oh, my gosh. I remember that movie. I forgot the name of it.
It's Inside Out.
It is Inside Out. I love that movie. It was a great movie.
Yeah, with all the different emotions.
It was well done. It was really well done.
That's an amazing movie.
Yes. Thank you for reminding me of that. That's right. I remember Joy, and she drove me crazy. I'm like, really? You're never just discounting everything else that's going on. Well, I'm glad you got to join me today. It's good to hear you. I'm going to stop the recording.